And we are live. Welcome everybody to Fuji Speedway here in Japan for the 2017 Formula Drift Japan Series. Round 3 here, as you can see at the bottom of the screen there. Fuji Speedway. Good morning, my name is Alexi Smith, YouTuber Noriyaro. I'm here with Formula Drift USA pro driver Ken Gushi. He'll be doing commentary with us here today. Ken, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Hello.
In the world, thank you for being with us here. We've got a full day of drifting ahead of us. Top 32. So we have two things going on today. Top 32, followed by the top 16 to the final battle later on today. So a couple of great brackets of live stream drifting for you here today. We had a very interesting qualifying yesterday. A few people doing better than we thought, and a few not doing as well as we thought. That's pretty much every qualifying ever in existence, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess you just never know with drifting. You know, it comes down to course conditions, car setup, how you're feeling as a driver, your mentality, your mental strength, preparation.
See, this is why we have Ken here today to give us the insider view on what it's like to be out there. Maybe what he gave us some pretty good insights yesterday on the strats of the different drivers and making some very accurate calls on qualifying, I have to say. Speaking of qualifying, here's our top 10 from yesterday. 10th place, we have Mad Mike Widette in his quad rotor RX-7. A little bit hit and miss with Mike's runs, but good enough to get into 10th place. In 9th place, we have Sheng Mian. Always a very loose driver, as you can see, all the way to the edge of the track in outer zone 2. In 8th position, Kazuki Hayashi. Two very strong runs. Would have thought he would get higher than 8th position, but there you go. In 7th position, we have Kuniaki Takahashi. Great run. You can see that huge flick. Very aggressive runs for him, putting him in 7th place. In 6th position, we have Koichi Yamashta, also in a big body Toyota, throwing it around the track there. As you can see, great driving from him, 6th place.
And then in 5th place, we have another big body Toyota sedan, Takahashi Kazumi. A lot of these guys are throwing big angle going from outer zone 1 to outer zone 2. Not really quite out to the outer zone 3. Crowd favorite, Andy Gray. He's second in points right now. Another big body Toyota JZX 100 Chaser. 4th place in qualifying. And in 3rd place, we have Yokoy, former Formula Drift USA driver. He had huge angle coming out to outer zone 1. Really stunned the crowd here. Really nice transition going from outer zone 1 to 2, filling the zones, hitting inside clip 1 to outer zone 3. Very signature Yokoy transition right there from outer zone 1 to 2. And then we have a JZA 80 Toyota Supra, the only one in the crowd, Yoshihiko Tamagawa. In practice, he was looking decent, and then he really pulled off some really good, solid 2 runs in qualifying with a lot of speed and angle coming from outer zone 1 to 2. Really nailing inside clip 1 and then going towards outer zone 3 to the finish line. His line was actually really good there. Then our first place qualifier, Shinji Minoa, or G, in his 350Z team boss with Potenza. He was looking really strong in practice. I thought he was going to pull off a crazy transition, but nonetheless, he really pulled off a solid run. Probably one of the most consistent drivers out on the field today, so I'm really looking forward to some of his battles going into the top 32. And surprisingly, his wife really made an impact on her first run too. The only female driver in Formula Drift Japan.
That's right, Masayo Minoa, Shinji's wife, also getting a decent position in the battles today. With, of course, that run you just saw there. Shinji Minoa, great run, by far the best of the day. Best we've seen so far in this competition in any practice or any qualifying, giving him that first place position. So you can see there the shot of the hot pits over on the back of Fuji Speedway. So what you can see there is the entry to the course, just in the foreground there, the 3-2-1 entry cone. So this is the course. Ken, would you like to explain the course?
Yeah, I mean, the course is not really I guess a standard straightaway. It's actually starting on a curve, a 100R curve. And as the lead drivers pass through the chicane, they go towards the 3-2-1 cones. And the 3-2-1 cones are the initiation cones. And the judges want the drivers to initiate by the first cone or the last standing cone, where we saw that white dash. And a lot of drivers were getting dinged. In fact, some got zeros because they were not drifting by the first cone yesterday during qualifying. So they really put an emphasis on where you want the car to be sliding, and that would be the last standing cone on the white dash.
Yeah, and keeping up the speed is very important on this track, as you can see there from those higher ranked runs. For example, with Shinji and also with the Supra, maintaining your speed throughout the entire course is very important, and that doesn't just mean holding the accelerator down and pinning it the entire way. There is a lot of braking, deceleration work that needs to be done on this track. It might not be apparent because the guys who sort of get it right, it doesn't look like they're slowing down at all, does it? But they're actually quite heavy on the brakes through a couple of parts of the course.
Right, I mean, the top 5 qualifying drivers didn't really use any brakes whatsoever. They used a lot of their angle to slow down from outer zone 2,
that's what I meant,
going towards inside clip 1, and then powering through to outer zone 3. But we saw some guys using left foot braking to adjust their line, going from the initiation point towards outer zone 1, and then they'll get off the brakes, the car rotate with a lot of angle, carry that momentum while using angle to slow down, going towards inside clip 1.
But, you know, this course, you've got to pull every technique out of the bag to pull off this track properly. So you can see that's the start line there, the chicane. Start there, actually right before a big curve. And as you can see here, Fuji Speedway, it's not a very flat track. It has a lot of up and down elevation, and even on the course we're using too. So it's not a flat track either. The course has quite a lot of banking on it. So a very tricky track to pull off well. A lot of places to make mistakes. And any sort of mistakes you make at the beginning of the track can cascade down upon you to ruin the entire run. All right, so we're about to begin our first battle of the top 32. See here, we have yesterday's #1 qualifier, Shinji Minoa, who has just pulled it to the start line. You can see there in the background.
Yeah, Shinji's going to be in the 350Z team boss, and then the guy doing the warm-up right now is going to be Kawashima Masataka. He's just in the JZX 100
to the start
Mark
line.
II.
Mark II with the Aventador styled front bumper. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. If you have a minute, jump on social media and let all your friends know you're watching FormulaD.com/live. We are going to be here for the whole top 32, starting right now. Here comes our first battle of the day. Minoa versus Kawashima. We have Minoa in the Fairlady, Kawashima in the JZX. Here comes our start. Minoa pulling away on the start line. Already getting a fairly big distance between the two cars here. Here they come. Minoa. Got to get the camera angle switch there. There we go. Minoa in cut there. Minoa, a fairly solid lead run there. Kawashima not really making much of an effect on that battle there from Kawashima. His car not really all that slow. Oh, we have a bit of a problem here. Shinji he pulled over on the side of the track for a second. But before we talk about that, let's watch this replay.
Yeah, let's watch this replay. I feel like Masataka didn't really take advantage of the lead driver's chicane. I mean, look at this gap coming out of the chicane. Shinji really pulled way ahead of Masataka, and tried to mimic his qualifying run. Came off a little short on outer zone 2, but still, nonetheless, that gap is going to be irreplaceable for Masataka in the JZX 100.
Yeah, do you think
it was a fairly solid run for Shinji? But
do you think, like you said, did he just think that it would be like a regular start and he could just start at the same time as Shinji? Because, of course, the chase driver can start anytime they like, right?
Absolutely. The chase driver has the advantage of jumping the light if he wanted to make sure that he's close within proximity at the initiation area, that vicinity. However, he didn't take advantage of the fact that the lead driver has to go through the chicane, which is going to essentially slow them down. And you got to really think about it this way. The start from the chicane to the corner entry or the corner approach is a drag race.
Yeah.
And you don't want the lead driver to run away from you.
That's right.
Especially since you're in the chase position and you have the advantage of jumping the light and adjusting your speed and whatnot. So there was no games being played here. I just think Masataka and the JZX 100 just, I don't know, fell asleep on the wheel or something, or didn't really realize.
He didn't get his coffee on the way to the Speedway this morning from the convenience store like the rest of us did.
Right, now let's see how Shinji does when the roles are reversed.
So lead car is now on the right of screen, Kawashima. He has to go when the lights extinguish, but Minoa can go anytime he likes. So Minoa starting at the same time as Kawashima. Here they go. So this time Kawashima leading, I'd say, with a big disadvantage after that first run. Actually quite a slow entry there from Kawashima as well. Minoa tucking in behind him. Here they come into the main section, out of zone 1, out of zone 2. Switch back. Minoa right on the tail of Kawashima. Backing off slightly there, lost in the smoke. Kawashima running a bit wide there. Dropping a wheel off the edge of the track. Not the best of days for Kawashima there. Both of these runs, not very good. Let's have a look at the replay.
I also think Shinji was playing it a little safe here. I mean, you saw that little bit of a gap on the start, pacing himself behind Kawashima in the JZX100. But you said it was a slow start. It really did look like a relatively slow start, but you saw here a hairy moment for Shinji as he took 2 wheels off at outer zone 2, but recovered real quickly as then we saw Kawashima go almost 3 wheels off at outer zone 3 before the finish line. So I'm pretty certain Shinji's going to get the win on this one.
Yeah, I think it's fairly safe to say that Shinji Minoa will be moving on to the top 16. Of course, we need to get official result from that.
You know what's interesting is I always feel like as a driver in the top 32, these drivers aren't really up to pace yet. They're not in a rhythm or in that zone, for lack of better terms.
Right.
But once you get into the top 16, it's an all-out war field out there.
Ah, that's interesting. So just the regular practice in the morning is not enough to get you in that mindset. You need to taste blood before you can get into it. Is that
right? I feel like we treat the top 32 as a huge mountain to climb, and once we get to the peak, that's where the top 16 starts, and you just, it's just an easy stroll from there. I mean, the battles aren't easy, but you're just in that
easy
zone. You're in that zone.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. It's like you're in the right mindset to keep it going all the way to the final. Yeah, that's interesting.
All right, let's see.
So we just had the Prez Super up there for a second there. Maybe our editing guys are a bit sleepy in the morning too. I don't know why everyone's so tired today. It's just the first day of competition. I mean, we did have qualifying yesterday, so everyone's been working hard. Even if you're just joining us right now, everybody here has been working hard for a couple of days now. So here we go. Have the results: 1, 2, 3 in favor of Shinji Minoa. So Shinji moving on to the top 16. Gets the win. As our
next battle.
As Saiba, our Japanese commentator, is saying, he's here overdoing the Japanese live stream with Takahiro Ueno, a driver from that other series, giving his input. Here's our next battle of the day: Yoshinori Shinozaki versus Jin Harino.
Two of the most popular drifting platforms in the sport of drifting, I would say.
I'd have to say this combination right here, the 2JZ S15 and also the... I think Shinozaki's changed to a 2JZ recently in a JZX100, the big body Toyota. Here we go, entry this time. Shinozaki is leading Jin Harino front. Very late entry there, low, shallow angle from Shinozaki. Harino throwing it too much. Harino straightening up. Unforced error there from the following car. Harino. Shinozaki completes his run without issue.
I don't know if that was without issue. I think we saw a little hesitation or hiccup from Shinozaki on entry, which would mean that it's pretty hard act to follow. So
Harino had to back off a bit there, didn't he?
If we watch Shinozaki here, there you go, right there. He's not drifting right there.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that took Harino off pace.
It looked, yeah. As we saw yesterday, Harino's car is set up as Ken was always saying, very tight, was it?
Right.
Very tight. Very tight setup in his car, giving him not a lot of grip, but not a lot of space. Room for error. I was going to say yoyu in the word in Japanese. Space sort of play. You can see that the flick back there, straightening up. Obviously, Harino driving as if he was going a lot faster, which is probably what he wanted to do. Yeah, Shinozaki's car, privateer driver. This used to be his street car, this JZX100. And still not massively over-spec'd like some of the other cars. So maybe lacking a little bit of power to use at this particular track layout. So it'll be interesting to see, as we always say, interesting to see how the judges deal with that situation.
And it's especially hard to see what the lead car is doing or his steering input when the wheels are black.
Is this one of these things? Yeah, the black wheel. Is this why like a lot of these guys who run black wheels in Japan now are running the white side?
You know what? I don't know if that's why they would run darker colors.
Because it doesn't have that stigma over here, does it? Like I know that over in the United States, it's got that massive stigma about black wheels. You're trying to hide something.
Right. I mean that was my thought process as well. You know, if you have darker colors.
Don't you have black wheels on your car?
I do. Yes.
Are they all black though?
Well, they're gloss black, so I guess it's not
you could
flat,
see it.
but I guess you could say
Got
it's a
something
little
to hide,
hard
Ken?
to tell.
Here we go, next one now, Jin Harino. Too much banter. Here we go, here's the sort of speed I think that Harino was wanting to put out. Watch the flick back here. Really showing the difference in entry speed there for Harino and Shinozaki. So Jin Harino putting out a lot more speed, and you can see there, Shinozaki dropping a wheel off.
Right, so in the second run, it's pretty evident that Shinozaki had a hard time on initiation. So I think it's safe to say, or even safe to assume that on Shinozaki's lead run, he had some sort of a hiccup on entry, which caused an error on Jin Harino's side. So I would have to say the advantage would go to Jin in the S15 in this particular battle.
I'm going to guess and say, even with that straight there from Jin Harino, I'm going to say that it's probably going to be him that wins this battle. And, of course, we do have the judges sitting here right next to us. So if any situations like that come up where we sort of think we need a bit of an explanation, I'm sure we can quickly get Ryan Lantane on the mic to explain what's happening. But we do have them write. I can see they're vigorously writing notes down right now. So we can get a result. So if you're just joining us just now after catching the announcement that this was live on social media, welcome. You are watching the top 32 of round 3 of Formula Drift Japan here at Fuji Speedway. We're only into the second battle in the top 32, so we have a fair bit of battling to go here. We just saw Shinji Minoa make it through to the top 16 in our previous battle. We're waiting for a result here between Shinozaki and Harino. Have a one more time.
All right, I guess we're going one more time.
So we are going a one more time between Jin Harino and Shinozaki. Obviously that big straight in there from Jin Harino contributing to that. Actually, I just remember literally before we went on air, I was just having a chat to Ken about what he does, or what goes through his mind when the car in front requires a fair bit of driver input to keep up with or stay back from. And obviously the judges being a bit strict on that. Harino straightening up where he could have kept the drift going. I'm sure if he'd have been able to do that, would have won him this battle.
Right, I think that straightening up was an isolated error on Jin's side.
Okay. That still would have... Well, stop.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh. Uh-oh. Oh, my God.
Okay.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. What is going on?
All right, bit of a issue here. Flaggies. Even at Fuji Speedway.
What are the flaggers doing?
Somebody get everybody some coffee. I think we need.
Wow.
Little bit of an issue there.
That could have been real ugly.
So a bit of a miscommunication here at Fuji Speedway.
Or a lack of coffee.
A lack of coffee. I'm hoping it's just lack of coffee.
Ooh, that could have been real bad.
Yeah, that could have been, anytime you have any sort of cars going in opposite directions on tracks, there is the possibility of that sort of thing happening. Luckily for Shinozaki, he was taking a nice tight line back to the pits. I think we might be having some people are going to be having some words right now. Whoa. Has that ever happened before? You ever seen that?
No, you know what, the staff are pretty much on top of it.
I mean, the staff are on top of this sort of thing, yeah. I mean,
I guess
it's our regular staff, and it's not like
these.
I mean, we have run at this layout before too, so yeah, that was a thing.
You know, that always becomes an issue when you have to go.
Yeah, transit goes the opposite direction, right? Well, because it was a one more time, right? So what they should have done was send them back around. Are they doing that in... I think they're only doing that in practice where they send them around the entire track.
Well, yeah, but I think realistically,
because it was one more time, they should have just sent them around the whole
yeah,
track.
they should have just continued around the track, transit all the way back around. Yeah, because we have the hot pit on the other side. We're not running the hot. They wouldn't go back to the pits.
No,
they'd be going back to the hot pits.
Right.
So, but they should have gone around the entire track. I'm guessing. I'm not paying attention to what the Japanese guys are saying right now. So I can see a lot of people on microphones, on radios right now, having a bit of a chat. So I'm sure we're going to straighten that out very quickly. There's Jin, Harino heading. Imagine that. Imagine being in Harino's position right there.
Right, and getting wiped out.
Oh man, yeah.
That could have been a nightmare for all parties involved.
Oh, jeez. Okay, well. See, this is why motorsport, ladies and gentlemen, we have safety equipment. This is why. You're all complaining about there, oh man, you got to run a roll cage to do,
This is exactly why.
This is why, because, motorsport, things happen.
Yeah, that shouldn't have happened.
That shouldn't have happened. I mean, look, even in, I'm not making excuses at all, but even, F1, all this, you have those issues with medical cars and, things like that, getting into incidents with the race cars. I'm not saying it's excusable. But we have to be aware, we have to be on top of this sort of stuff at all times. Right, so.
All right, let's try this again.
Talking about getting into the zone, you think the adrenaline level would be through the roof with these two guys right now. Hayashi in the lead. Saito following. So Hayashi, nice, good entry here from this time. No problems. No cars coming the other way right now. Flick back. Saito tucking in. This is a great follow run from Saito. Nice lead run from Hayashi, but Saito in the 180SX following close behind. Nice transition there. Good. Watch the transition between outer zone 1 and outer zone 2. Here we go with the replay.
Yeah, let's take a look at it again. I don't know why these chase drivers are giving them a lot of room on entry, but I guess if the lead driver starts early, or at least by the last standing cone, the chase driver has a little bit of space to catch up and make up that room, but Saito did beeline from outer zone 2 to inside clip 1, which helped him close the gap.
Right.
So let's take a look again. So we'll see Hayashi initiate way before the 3 marker, and then this gives Saito a chance to catch up, initiate by the last standing cone, and pretty much get right to his door. But we see here, he didn't fill outer zone 2.
Right, yeah.
He sort of just touched it and went right to his door and inside clip 1 to the finish line.
So would the ideal thing on this track be seeing both cars sort of transition at the same time, or would it be...
Well, if it were me, I would have stuck much closer on initiate at the same time while pacing and following the lead driver, following him through all the zones or wherever he places the car, and have a mode of attack in that scenario instead of looking for an opening,
right,
cutting the line from outer zone 2 to inside clip 1.
So Saito's just sort of sitting back and waiting for a time to attack rather than attacking the whole time.
Right, and the judges do mention that they want the chase driver to initiate at the same time, if not sooner than the lead driver.
Right, there you go.
Behind. So in that case, Saito did wait on initiation.
So some great insight there from our guest commentator, pro driver Ken Gushi, all the way from the United States. Great insight there on what the strats are of these drivers. Okay, here we go. Second run now. This time, Saito will be leading Hayashi. So watch Hayashi's following run. Yeah, Hayashi, as you mentioned there, already initiating.
Yeah, but look at that gap.
Saito pulling way ahead. But the following run from Hayashi, great following run from Hayashi. Just a fair way back, though.
Yeah.
Now, in that situation, there, the lead run from Saito, he took that sort of that very shallow straight line entry, trying to get his speed up. But as you mentioned there, Hayashi initiating a lot earlier. That's the sort of thing the judges want to see, right?
Right, but Saito does have the leisure to initiate at the last standing cone. I think he initiated literally at the last standing cone. It was a little shy off of outer zone 1 and a bit timid at outer zone 2. But, you know, the thing is, Hayashi was nowhere to be found on any portion of the track.
Yeah.
As to where, if we take a look back at the first run, Saito did get to Hayashi towards the end of outer zone 1, going towards outer zone 2. I mean, he did beeline from outer zone 2 to the inside clip, but there was proximity there.
That's right.
And sometimes the judges do tell us that if we have to sacrifice angle to close the proximity, then do so.
It does make for more exciting drifting when the cars are closer together. But it's that balance. It's that balance between getting the run technically correct and also just being good, exciting drift.
I mean, you do as a lead driver want to pull off, you know, 100 point or close to a 100-point qualifying run, but obviously not all drivers are going to. Well, no one pulled off a 100-point run yesterday during qualifying, so you got to pull off the best qualifying run you could possibly.
Yeah, the closest we got to 100 yesterday was the 94 of Shinji Minoa.
Right, and Saito did qualify 25th, so he was in the lower ranking qualifying group.
So here comes the result. So we're going to run this again. Between 3 one more times. Okay, so Shinichiro Saito and Hayashi. Okay, so I think this is a good thing because we already have 2 one more times between the previous battle, Shinozaki Harino, and also Hayashi Saito. And what this is going to do, I think, is give all the spotters up here on the hill a lot more data, a lot more information to give their drivers, which means we're going to see. We've got the one more times out of the way right now, so I think the drivers are going to have a lot more information on how they should drive this track to win it, right?
Absolutely, and I think that's really crucial in tracks like this where you have a spotter, and then you get to study these runs. And by the time you're up in line, I mean, it sucks for the guys who are running first, but say you're running, in the latter half of the battles, you have a lot more data to work off of.
Here we go, next battle now. Sheng Nian versus Tasaka. So Nian leading in the JZX. Really early entry there from Tasaka, straightening up, starting again. Falling back slightly. Was this some sort of mechanical issues for Tasaka's S15 Sylvia? Nowhere to be found. Tasaka, he's got his hazard lights on. Could it be some sort of breakage? Sounds like the engine switched off. Oh no, he's got it started.
He's running, but we saw him try to initiate way early behind Nian, and then straighten up, and at that point it was game over for him as he stopped drifting. But we saw Nian with a really solid lead lap, initiating at the 3 marker, going way out to outer zone 1.
That's a good lead run there
nice
from
transition
Nian.
to outer zone 2, filling the zone.
That's really good right there.
Yeah, Nian's been doing really good, especially during practice earlier today, filling all the zones and hitting the inside clip with a lot of angle and, commitment, throttle commitment.
So see the camera having to zoom all the way out there. Tasaka nowhere to be found in that cloud of smoke and just seen there. Already got his hazard lights on. So we'll wait to see if we can get word on what's wrong with Tasaka's car. Of course, he still can do one more run if he can. The car returning. So this car premiering last round at Ebisu's circuit. It's had a bit of a change of looks right now. They've got this extreme sort of GT style box fenders on the back of it now. I was saying yesterday, the car, it's a little bit less extreme in build than compared to how it looks. It's definitely a standout in the field here.
You should lower that thing a little bit.
I'm getting comments on I'm running a little unofficial chat in Discord. People are sort of saying like, these cars could stand to be lowered a bit. So this car running an SR20 engine. So we still have quite a few cars here in Formula Drift Japan running the 4-banger SR20. A couple of them just the standard SR20. A couple running the VE, variable valve timing head on them.
You know what though? Tasaka is lining back up at the start line, so I don't think there's a mechanical issue with this car, or even if there was, he's probably just going to push through with it. And because we did witness him stop drifting in the chase, so let's see how this works out when he's in the lead run as Nian gives chase.
Okay, so this time Tasaka in the S15 Sylvia. Very slow start. Is there some sort of issue with the car again? It looks like it might be another... Yeah, okay, so hazard lights back on. So Tasaka, another non-run for him. We might just see them turn around here. But, Tasaka, I think it's going to be a fairly obvious result from this. So that's going to be Sheng Nian moving on to the top 16. I'm just going to preempt the judges. I think it's fairly safe to say it's a non-run for him there. Sort of Nian just sort of practicing his line there.
All right, finally we got our second winner, moving on to the top 16.
So Sheng Nian moving on. yeah, doing really well in his practice and qualifying, getting slowly better and better. His improvement, sort of, if you put it on a graph, it'd just be like a 45-degree line going
Right,
straight
his
up.
consistency has dramatically improved more than anything. I mean, he's always had that aggressive nature.
Yeah.
You know, the really strong transitions, full commitment, but a lot of times he was lacking the consistency.
That's right.
And sometimes taking the car off course or even taking out other vehicles.
That has happened. Yeah, the rear end of that JZX100 Chaser on Nyan's car undergoing repair many times. Okay, here comes our one more time battle of the second battle in the top 32, Shinozaki versus Harino. So we saw in the last battle, Harino and Shinozaki, big gap between them on the start. Harino, big straight, unforced straight from him in the chase. So you can see the Harino sort of falling back slightly. See what sort of strategy he takes here. So initiating very early Harino, he's spaced back a fairway. He's going to use the speed and grip advantage of this car. Watch the flick here. He's going to tuck it in. There we go. This is the sort of thing he wanted to do on his first run. Still falling back slightly though. Harino not chasing with a whole lot of confidence on that run, just a little bit better than last time. But
Yeah, well, the biggest improvement he made in this run is the fact that he didn't straighten out behind Shinozaki. But he did initiate way earlier behind Shinozaki before the 3 marker and couldn't close that gap that he had wanted to close.
He should have been able to catch up right about here.
So I don't know if he's playing it safe. Or
he was off the accelerator for a long time, though.
Well, as they both were.
Yeah. So here we go from the opposite angle. Yeah, you're right.
You can see Shinozaki was on the e-brake for quite a while from outer zone 2 to inside clip number 1.
Yeah. So I'm sure that.
So maybe Harino saw that in the first run and decided, he didn't want to crash into.
He didn't want to crash into. That's right. So here we go. That's why we've got Ken here. Great insight on the driving techniques of these two drivers.
Right now, if I were Harino's spotter, I would now tell him, just go all out.
Yeah.
Make sure you hit the zones, the inside clip with a lot of angle, but just full power.
If you're Shinozaki's spotter, what would you say?
If I was Shinozaki's spotter, I would tell him to leave the line or jump the line even to match his line going towards the approach or the initiation approach. Stay really tight because it does seem like Shinozaki's car is slower than or more underpowered compared to Harino's car.
Right, so he should. I wonder if we're going to see a jump start here from Shinozaki in the red Mark II.
Right, because you have the option of, or the advantage of jumping the line in chase position.
Of course, with a turbo car, you need a little bit of space after the start line to get the car fully spooled up and on boost. So once again, even start between these two. Here we go. So Harino leading Shinozaki. What is Shinozaki going to do? He's sort of going to cut in here.
Same thing.
What the heck is Shinozaki doing right there? He has a lot of space to play with. You can see the leaker, Harino, as Ken was saying, just going flat out. And Shinozaki washing out really wide on the side of the track there. Puff of brown dirt coming up along with the white smoke. So maybe Shinozaki needs to set up his car with a bit more rear grip, but more power, more grip.
Right, definitely more power more than anything. More power more than anything, but
let's watch the replay.
As we were talking about earlier, all Jin had to do was just pull off his qualifying style run in the lead position. Just don't worry about the back, hit all the clips. And he did, as we had assumed.
There you go. Well, as Ken called, the strat that Ken called is exactly what Harino used. And fairly sure that it's going to be Harino moving forward. Okay, here. So we have a result here. Harino left, S15 Sylvia, Shinozaki right on the JZX. So 1, 2. So it is decided 3 judges in favor of Jin Harino. So Jin Harino in the, sorry, did I say what? S15? Yeah. 180SX.
Same thing, isn't it?
Yes, it's all the same. I mean, all these Japanese cars, they look the same, these little Econo boxes. We're moving on to the top 16. So we have a result from that one more time battle.
All right, crowd favorite, Andy Gray.
Okay, this is going to be an interesting battle. Next battle here, Hayato Miyoshi versus Andrew Gray. So Andrew Gray on the right of screen from Scotland, all the way from Edinburgh. I think
second in points right now.
Second in points, last year's champion. But he's up against Miyoshi. Now, Miyoshi, a very raw driver, not very high in the points right now, but very aggressive. This will be an interesting following run from him. Get Andy Gray, nice early initiation from him, running out nice and wide. Now transitioning back. Miyoshi right there with Andrew Gray, throwing a bit of, there you go. Miyoshi, I knew he was going to throw it down really hard on this run. A bit too hard there for Miyoshi. That is a massive shame for Miyoshi.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate as
in the R34 Skyline.
Miyoshi did have really strong transitions from outer zone 1 to 2 during practice, leaving really little to no room for error. So
yeah,
that error right there going off did push him wide.
What was that little, you saw the back of his car kind of squat down for a second there. What do you think that was?
I just think he went 2 tires off in the dirt.
Right. Just over the edge of the zebra strip there.
Just being a little too aggressive, possibly trying to close a little gap that he had to Andy Gray.
Keeping his speed a bit too high. Running
but Andy's lead run was solid.
Yeah, Andy's lead run was nothing to complain about there.
Andy is a really strong chase driver, so we'll see.
You know that Andy's in a good position when basically all we're talking about is Miyoshi's run, because I was just sort of assuming that Andy's going to be okay on his lead run. I mean, it was. I mean, the action was all out front, but of course, it'd be good to see some closer battles here, and Miyoshi throwing it down really hard on that run. Unfortunately, that half spin from him there. He looks like he's in a good mood, though.
Oh, he's getting pumped.
He's getting pumped up. Here he is. This is his last chance of the day. Top 32. Get pumped, son. He's up against Andrew Gray. He's in the lead this time. But Andrew Gray never one to play it safe in the chase. Here they come. Second run now. Miyoshi with a disadvantage going this run. Lead run. ER34. Two-door Skyline. The RB engine. Watch the flick back here. Here comes Andrew Gray out of the smoke. Miyoshi, great lead run there. Andrew Gray falling back slightly. Miyoshi, that was the run he wanted to do in the chase. That would have been good if Miyoshi had pulled that off in his first run. I think we may be seeing one more time right now. I don't know, but that's a bit of a shame. Let's watch this run one more time. On the replay, here comes Miyoshi. So that white line just there you saw in the foreground is where the cars have to initiate by, so no problem there.
Right, typically we see Andy a little closer on the chase in proximity, but it's probably safe to assume that we had a spotter tell him about the mistake that Miyoshi made on his chase.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Andy was playing it safe, but I mean, that was an easy win for him, considering the forced error from Miyoshi's end.
I don't want to say easy, but you're right, it was easy. Andrew Gray, car number 100 in the red JZX 100, moving on to the top 16.
Okay. Oh, this is the other one more time battle that we have to go back to between Hayashi and Saito.
So Hayashi and Saito. Sorry, this is the 180SX I'm talking about. I'm getting all mixed up. 180SX on the left of screen, Shinichiro Saito. On the right of screen, Toyota 86 or a GT86, depending on what country you come from. What do they call it in the USA? It's the 86 in the USA.
86, yep.
It is.
Formerly the Scion FRS.
Formerly the Scion FRS. The GT86 in Europe. So Saito following, Hayashi leading. Here comes Hayashi's nice early. So good entry from both these guys. Saito running out very wide. Watch the transition here. Saito right there with Hayashi. A little bit stall in transition. Right up against Hayashi's rear bumper. This is a much better chase run this time from Shinichiro
That was
Saito.
a textbook run from both drivers, I got to say.
That was
really strong lead lap from Hayashi.
So what we were talking about before, from these early runs of the day, giving a lot of information to the spotters up here. I'm sure that both Hayashi and Saito's spotters were in their ear. So watch the following run this time. Much better right there, transition. A little bit of a hesitation in the transition. But Hayashi in the lead there, also throwing it a little bit too hard, so a bit of a stall in the lead there too.
Right, but I think Saito did a good job filling all the zones behind Hayashi in the chase position. Normally we see a lot of drivers try to cut the lines to gain proximity, but he did fill outer zone 1, to hit inside clip 1, and then to outer zone 3.
I'd like to bring up at this point, for everyone judging along at home, proximity in the following run is not everything. Are we going to get into that? Or, we'll talk about it.
That's a really long topic.
It's a long topic to get into.
Simply put, you want to mimic what the lead car is doing, if not better, their angle.
That's right. So
without sacrificing line or any of the outer zones.
So what we want to see, like in Formula Drift, the lead car has to be doing basically a 100-point qualifying run, right? They have to give the chase car a good run to follow. So if the lead car is not doing a good run and the chase car is not doing a good run, that doesn't necessarily mean that the chase car is doing a bad job.
Yeah,
right?
It could mean that the lead car is pulling off an unchaseable run.
Right. So you got to look. You got to look at both runs, ladies and gentlemen, when you are judging along at home. You can't just look at one run. Oh, he was on his tail the whole time, and give it to that guy. There's 2 runs here. So here comes the next run. Saito leading, Hayashi following. Great shot there. Nice following run from Hayashi. He's got to keep the angle on as they go to outer zone 3.
Interesting.
That was an interesting run there. So Saito, fairly good lead run from him there, but Hayashi. So
right, but Saito did miss inside clip number 1.
This is what we're talking. This is exactly what we're talking about right now. Watch this again, Ken.
So they both initiate right around the same time.
Outer zone. Hayashi way off outer zone, whereas Saito's kind of in there.
So you see that he's off of inside clip 1, which I think forces Hayashi to strain up a little bit there. But we did see Hayashi almost 0 counter at inside clip 1.
We did.
While following Saito.
Right there. So both those.
Right here, around this area right here. There you go, right there.
Yeah, a bit of a wobble there.
We saw Hayashi strain up.
So Hayashi on the chase run, not getting all the way out to the outers, as far into the outer zones.
Right, while having Saito not get to inside clip number 1
there you go,
in his lead. So
a lot of mistakes from everybody. So you see, this is all the stuff that like we're talking about it, right? All 3 of the judges have to be thinking about this and sometimes talking between them, exactly like how we're doing. So that's why sometimes you get gaps in the results. But we do have a result there. Shinichiro Saito in the 180SX.
Yeah, I think he did have a better chase and overall lead run compared to Hayashi.
So I'm glad we were talking about that just now, because literally exactly what we're talking about came up in that battle. So you should be able to understand the result. They're a bit better now. So good runs from both these guys, but Saito, the lower ranked qualifying driver, taking out Hayashi. So our first surprise result of the day.
Or the first upset, as we would say.
Upset. Okay, moving on, next battle now. Daichi Oshido on the right of screen, you can see there, JCX100 Mark II. Up against Daichi Oshido, Junji Ishikawa.
Junior
Ishikawa, my mistake. In the S14 now, very low-powered car, Ishikawa just barely making it through qualifying yesterday. Putting down a good second run. Oshido pulling way ahead. Not a bad chase run so far. Ishikawa needs to do a bit of a catch-up here. But good lead run from Oshido, yeah, just Ishikawa. Was that a misshift there?
Oh.
Big puff of black smoke and a pop bang out of the back of Daichi Oshido's
That's unfortunate for
car.
Oshido, as the first half of his run looked really solid.
Yeah, so first
Yeah,
run.
look at that gap right there. So if he had
Oshido.
just cleaned up the exit or outer zone 3 to finish, he stopped drifting right around here.
On the power, bang, bang. Yeah, way before the finish line.
So that would be a 0.
Is that going to be a 0 for Oshido in the lead?
It is.
Yeah?
Yep.
Judges?
Yep.
He literally drove straight through outer zone 3 from Ryan Lantana.
And then through the finish line.
And then through the finish line. I can hear Oshido just there on the transit back. I can just hear him put the power down. A bit of a rough sounding top end on that engine. Some sort of ignition problem. The weak point of the Toyota JZ engine, so the ignition can go funny very quickly. Quite often for reasons completely unknown. You run a 2J, don't you?
I am, and I'll
what
tell you, there's a lot of weak points on a 2J, unfortunately.
Yeah,
but that's what we're here to
But you know
do
what?
is
I think
to,
the reason why the weak points on 2Js are so obvious is because the strong points are so ridiculously strong.
Right.
Right? Like some parts of them are just absolutely bulletproof, unbreakable, which just makes the weak points a bit weaker. But hey, look, there's a reason why so many people run 2Js. All right, here we go. Second run now. Ishikawa leading.
So all he has to do now is just pull off a clean lead run with no mistakes, and I think he should have an easy win on this battle right here, as he's doing.
Oshido straightening up again. So Oshido, same part of the course straightening up. Is that some sort of fuel
Possibly
issue?
fuel issue.
Fuel
Unload.
issue, yeah. Because that is a full noise part of the track. They're on maximum accelerator going from inner clip 1.
Yeah, I think unfortunately for Oshido Daichi, his day is going to be over here.
Let's watch the replay. So great lead run from Ishikawa. Look at that. Maybe a little bit slower than some of it. I think, depending on who he's going to, if Ishikawa wins this battle,
he's going against
Andrew Gray.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a gap in cars right there. But hey, look, you never know.
Right, that's the beauty of drifting, is you never know.
You never know. It's, you know, Junior Ishikawa, 1, 2, 3. So he's going to be cheering about that. Ishikawa in the blue S14 Sylvia will be
seeing Andy.
He will. That's going to be an interesting battle. So great effort there from Ishikawa. It's the top 16. So moving on to our next battle now. Takahashi, Imamada. See the Imamada in the background. They're warming up the tyres on his S14. That's the Corky S14 you see there, the late model.
Kind of looks like Jeff Jones' car.
Jeff Jones from the USA Series?
Yes. Similar livery with the black base, red accents, S14.
Here he comes, just warming up their tyres, running a similar sort of layout to the American Series to get the burnout box up to the start line. So there you see, on the left of the screen, Takatoshi Imamada versus Kazumi Takahashi. Now Kazumi Takahashi entering basically any competition he can these days, getting a lot of battle experience under his belt in recent times. Sometimes a little bit inconsistent in qualifying, but pulled off a really good run yesterday.
Yeah, he qualified 5th.
Yeah, so that's a bit higher up than he normally gets. Right, so Takahashi leading this run. A little bit of a wobble there in the entry. Imamada right there with him. Here they come, outer zone, missing the outer zone a fair bit. This is going to give Imamada a great chance to catch up. Imamada washing really wide. Oh no, that's a big mistake for Imamada in the follow. He was almost gifted that run there. Imamada in the chase position, but just in that same place we saw a lot of people get unstuck yesterday. The transition between outer zone 2 and the inner clip.
Right, I just feel like Takahashi initiated a little too early and threw off his timing going towards outer zone 1. So as you saw there, he was way off of outer zone 1. Gets to outer zone 2 nice and clean. Overshoots it a little bit and misses inside clip 1, but goes towards outer zone 3, entirely filling the whole zone, as we saw Imamada in the chase position, a wash out from outer zone 2, entirely missing inside clip 1 and then falling way back towards the finish line.
So the lead run there, Takahashi really missing that first outer zone and the inner clip as well.
Right, but then you got to remember they're comparing lead to lead and chase to chase.
Right. So this is a bit of a chance now for Imamada. He needs to pull off a good lead run, and it is something he can do. Right, lining up again. So this time, Takahashi in the chase run, just edging forward there. You can see that. So, well, as we've been saying, they are allowed to jump the start. We haven't seen anyone do that yet. I think Takahashi a little bit more power than Imamada. And they come out of zone 1. It's looking good. Lead run now for Imamada. Great transition there. He's got to tuck in here, get as close as he can to the inner zone. Missing it slightly. Out of zone there. Now how is this going to be judged?
Well, that was a much cleaner chase run from Takahashi compared to Imamada.
Definitely was, but it was a fairly similar lead run from the Black S14. Both those lead runs are fairly similar, weren't they?
So if you compare the lead to lead, say that they're similar, now you got to compare the chase to chase. And I got to say Takahashi did have a better chase, or a cleaner chase, I got to say.
He did.
Compared to Imamada. Obviously, we saw Imamada wash out from outer zone 2 to inside clip 1. And you know, his wheels were turned the other way in the first run. So,
all right, I think we have a result.
Yep, I'm going to have to say I would give it to Takahashi.
I would as well. Just that massive wash out there from outer zone 2 to inner clip 1.
Then you got to remember, Takahashi did also miss outer zone 1.
He did.
His lead.
He did. Which is worse. But, overall, yeah, I'd have to agree with you. I think that Takahashi is going to win this. Takahashi on the right of screen there, the JZX 100, the green four-door, and a 1, 2, 3, Robbie Nishida, Ryan Lantane, Andy Yen, our 3 judges in favour of Takahashi in the green JZX 100. Mark II will be moving on to the top 16. And he will be going up against the winner of the next battle we have right now. This is interesting. Masayo Minoa on the right of screen, our only female driver in the series. And hot damn, she did some runs yesterday.
She did.
Yeah, after a fairly sort of unconfident, shaky start of the season, especially in round 1 at Suzuka, where her nerves were basically 0.
And then we have Chris.
And Krista Jagger from Australia on the right of, now on the left of screen, the chase position now. So Minoa taking that shallow line, trying to get as much speed as possible. The Jagger right with her there. Watch the transition here. Throwing it really hard. The Jagger has to hold this, keep his angle. He does it. Great chase run from the Jagger, reacting to the lead run of Masayo Minoa. Whoa, now that was an interesting run. So Minoa taking that that shallow entry line we saw yesterday, trying to get as much speed as possible. And the Jagger, good transition between outer zone 1 and 2 and managing to keep his drift, not straightening out.
Right, I think Masayo did a fairly decent job getting to outer zone 1, but she went way wide past outer zone 2 onto the grass, taking almost 3 tires off and then straightening out for a bit, while we saw Chris sort of just watching what's going on in front of him.
And reacting
keeping
to
it safe there, and yeah, he did a fairly good job, I guess, keeping it together in drift.
Yeah, so Krista Jagger, new to the series this year, possibly the worst luck of anybody so far in the season. His first round, basically pretzeled his propeller shaft twice and didn't make the actual competition. And then at the last round, round 2 at ABC Circuit.
Is this his actual car, or is this?
This is his actual car. No,
okay.
He started the season with the JZX 90, and then he entered another competition trying to get as much experience as possible at ABC Circuit, not a Formula Drift, it was a different competition, and actually slammed his car into the wall at ABC Circuit, Minami course. He broke a couple of ribs, was in a lot of pain, came back to Japan, built this car in a couple of weeks by himself with sore neck and a lot of injuries and a lot of painkillers.
Oh.
Double zeros.
We saw the first jump start from the chase position by Minoa.
There you go. Double zeros in ABC, not making the actual competition. He's out here today. Lead run from the Jagger, so it's looking good for Krista Jagger. This time, great angle there, flicking it back. Here comes Masayo Minoa. A fairway back from the Jagger. This is looking really good for Krista Jagger. This is going to be his first good result, I'm going to say.
Yeah, really solid lead run from Chris. And Masayo was just quite a ways off. I think she knows she had to jump the start to keep the proximity at the start, or at the initiation, but it was not enough to overpower Chris's lead run.
Starting fairly early there, but
Chris had a really solid lead run right here, filling all the zones. Getting to inside clip number 1 right there, and to outer zone 3, crossing the finish line. So
It's a good lead run from Krista Jagger.
Right, and considering Masayo had a huge mistake from outer zone 1 to inside clip 1 on her lead,
Yeah.
it's safe to assume Chris, as we see here,
As you have the
will
result
be moving
there.
on to the top 16.
So first, it's already over halfway through the year. Finally, a result to write down on Facebook for Krista Jagger, moving on to the top 16.
Great job, Chris.
Unfortunately for Masayo Minoa not making it through the top 32, we would have liked to see her get a bit further through the competition today, but she gets knocked out there. But full points to her as well for results this weekend. Much better than the first 2 rounds. Actually, both of these drivers, great results. So we are now halfway through the top 32 battles here at Fuji Speedway. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, less than 5 minutes. We'll be right back. Stay with us. All right, and we are back here with the top 32, second half of the top 32. Formula Drift Japan, round 3 at Fuji Speedway. If you're just joining us now, hello and welcome to the live stream for the top 32. We're running the top 32 right now, and also the top 16 all the way through to the final later on today. The time right now in Japan is about 10:30 in the morning. And as you can see, we're at Fuji Speedway. Great location. Unfortunately, a little bit cloudy and hazy today. Usually it's a great view of the surrounding mountains.
The good thing, though, is not raining.
Yeah, well, don't speak too soon. You never know at Fuji Speedway, the mountains here. The clouds can roll over Mount Fuji and cover this place in rain in a matter of moments. But it's been looking good so far here today. I think it should be okay. We're about to begin the second half of the top 32. If you're just joining us, hello, my name is Alexi Smith. I'm here with Formula Drift USA Pro driver Ken Gushi giving his input.
Hello, hello.
Hello, we are here to do the English live stream. So thank you for being with us wherever you're watching. If you have to go to work right now, just maybe take your phone, take a long toilet break. I know that some guys are having to leave the live stream right now to go to work. Next battle now, Tamagawa versus James Tang. Double smoky battle.
Oh.
This is the best run we've seen from James Tang so far this weekend. Dropping 2 wheels off a little bit there. That's a big mistake for James Tang. It might cost him this battle.
That was a really aggressive attempt at a chase run from James, as we
big dive.
His practice runs weren't looking too solid, but I think he knew he had to put it all out there going against Tamagawa in the Super, because Tamagawa did qualify second.
Yeah.
So James knew he had to put it on his door from the start. As we see here, he had a really aggressive chase from outer zone 1 and to outer zone 2 right here. Nice flick, but he did shoot a little wide, taking 2 tires off, which sort of threw off his line. Ended up going way shallow at outer zone 3. So with that said, Tamagawa did have a decent lead run.
Yeah. So Tamagawa there in the Supra. For some reason, his car setup and driving style really suiting the layout here at Fuji Speedway. Slightly higher speed than our previous rounds held at Suzuka and also at Ebisu Circuit. That is to say Suzuka Twin, not the actual Suzuka Grand Prix circuit. So that's a little mistake there from James Tang. James, of course, you can see there driving the 2JZ-powered BMW. So big engine in a little car, always a great combination for any kind of racing car. But on the other hand, though, we have the big body sports tourer Supra there as well.
And we'll see how James does in the lead run, as we've witnessed him having a hard time from outer zone 2 to inside clip number 1. But we did see in practice he did pull off a decent run in the lead.
He does, but he has a bad habit of. Is that start okay? Yes, it is. He has a bad habit of getting caught up on that outer zone 2. So here we go. Early entry there from Tamagawa. He has a lot of space to catch up. Watch the transition here. Tang. Good line there from Tang. But watching me wide, Tamagawa getting right up on his door. Oh, that was looking really good for James Tang. But what happened right there? Right about in clip 1. Well, there's already got one in a clip. In a clip,
Right, I mean, that's the same
Washing
thing he's
out
been
wide.
doing all weekend, is just watching out from outer zone 1, going towards inside clip number 1. And that was a really strong chance for Tamagawa to make a pass there legally, as that's going to be the only legal passing area. And I think he did attempt to pass there, but saw James coming back on the line and had to pull back a little bit. But overall, I think Tamagawa did have a better lead run. He did close the gap from outer zone 1 to outer zone 2.
Big gap.
That was a huge gap. So you see right there, he attempts the pass, but then sees James coming back on the power, so has to fall back a little bit.
And that part of the track does have, it is fairly wide, that part of the track. There is a chance to overtake.
Right, and as the judges said, that's the only area where the drivers in the chase position can make a legal pass.
And then we have the result there. On the right of screen, Yoshichika Tamagawa in the Supra. Solid qualifying for him yesterday, solid run for him today, knocking out James Tang. So that 2 mistakes on 2 runs for James Tang, unfortunately for him, knocking him out in the top 32. We're going to see Tamagawa in the Supra through to the top 16.
Very good attempt from James, though.
Yeah, I mean, he's another driver we're seeing just slowly getting better and better, more battle hardened as the... of course, you know, an experienced driver overseas, but of course, you know, it's never easy for a driver to step into a series in another country and be
unknown territory.
Unknown territory, unknown drivers, or as they say in Japan, no data. Right? They say no data.
Which means no data.
No data. Next run now, we have Tokita in the lead. Ficarda following.
And falling back.
We got transition here. Tokita out nice and wide. Both the drivers, good line from both of them. This is a solid lead and chase run, but Ficarda, a fair way back. He just wants to be a couple of car lengths further forward than he is.
Yeah, that wasn't the best lead run from Tokita, but Ficarda did have a huge gap chasing Tokita in his 8.6.
So early entry there from Tokita, Ficarda. Hard on the power, as you can see, both of them transition back here. And it's a good transition, a little bit of a wobble in the transition there from
Right,
Ficarda.
just lacking the angle on for both drivers.
Yeah, both these guys could throw it in a bit harder than they are. You know, we have seen other drivers do that, especially yesterday, for example, Kuniaki and Yokoy. This is one of those sorts of tracks where you can really use the angle of the car. It's very effective using the angle of the car to slow down instead of the brakes.
Yeah, actually that's a little bit more desired than actually getting on the brakes to slow down your speed going towards inside clip. And we saw, you know, some of the top few drivers really utilizing their angle to slow down going towards inside clip and then to outer zone 3 on power.
Yeah, keeping the weight balance of the car on the back, not having to tap the brakes and throw off the weight balance, right?
Right. As we see on the next battle, we saw, or in the next few battles, we saw Kuniaki in the Mark X do that. We saw Shinji in the 350Z or 370Z do that.
That's right. So a riskier technique, a higher level technique, but the payoff is much higher. Oh, look, we got Casey Neistat down there on the. We got a cameraman. Casey Neistat, yeah, with the boosted board and the Gorilla Pod and camera. Japanese Casey Neistat. Okay, next one now. Ficarda leading. Tokita right on his tail. So Tokita very confident in his chasing ability here, right on the tail of Ficarda. He wants to make this a decided battle. Hard throw there for Tokita. Straighten up for Ficarda. Oh no! Ficarda pulling off the track there. High risk chase for Tokita paying off.
No, that was a really strong start and chase position by Tokita, and I think
look how close Tokita is in this chase.
Right, but if you take a look at Tokita at inside clip number 1, he was about to straighten up.
He was,
but
yeah.
I think he got lucky seeing Fukuda go off course pretty much. So we'll take a look here. Nice transition for both drivers, really
there.
close in proximity from Tokita, and right there we see Fukuda go off course.
Or do you think Tokita might have seen that Ficarda was dropping off a bit, but
or maybe slowing down in speed or losing momentum.
But Ficarda was going fine. Okay, let's watch it from the opposite angle here. Now that looks like a bit of, I mean, Tokita, maybe the lead car Ficarda was a bit slower than Tokita maybe anticipated, but I don't think that Tokita was could foresee that Ficarda would pull off the track like that.
Right. So in a sense, I think obviously he's lucky that the lead car goes off course.
Half luck, half skill right there. But then again, if it's all about that positioning of the car. If you position the car in the right place to take advantage of something like that,
which he was.
Which he was, yeah. So high risk, high result battle there for the following driver, Tokita. So here we go, one more time. Let's watch this replay. The chase. So this is the closest chase run we've seen so far here. Look at this. Tokita already sort of starting to initiate his car. Watch the flick back here. So nice. Look at the timing of the chase car. Tokita flicking back.
Did he hit him?
No, I don't think. Oh, I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't know. It did kind of look like Tokita hit him at outer zone 2. But
it wouldn't have made a mistake that far. I mean, it wouldn't have forced a mistake. I mean, we see this issue quite a lot, right? Where someone will tap somebody and then they'll spin out a long time later. And then people will say, oh, it's because he hit him. Let's watch this again.
Well, no. What if he mechanically broke something from an impact? Yeah, I mean, even if they did hit, that's no hit to, cause an error or a mistake. I think at that point, it's definitely possible to power through.
Well, what is that? Robin's racing. So even if it was a slight tap, it shouldn't have been an issue. So one more time watching this. So all three judges are actually watching the replay screen very intently now.
Right there. So he was on the e-brake. If there was any potential impact there, that was when Fukuda was on the e-brake.
We could sort of see that Tokita was also, he rotated his car and then rotated a bit again, maybe to try to avoid contact.
As soon as he dropped the e-brake and went back on power, you saw Fukuda attempt to power through.
Yeah.
And shortly after that, he went off. He straightened up and went off.
So waiting to see what the result of the battle will be between Tokita and Ficarda. That's us there. Hello. We're over here. Yay. Let's do a mini wave. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Okay, results. We have a result one more time. No?
No.
Okay, one more time from Robbie Nishida. So, one more time. Interesting result from this particular battle between Ficarda on the left in the Mark II and Tokita on the right of screen in the 8.6. So, one more time. Do we have time to... I'm just going to chuck... Is that all right? Can I just chuck the... I'm going to chuck the mic on Ryan Lantane and get some words on from him.
Thanks, guys.
Hey.
So what we looked at was that hit. There was a light tap from Tokita on Fucarda as Fucarda led. Now, we don't really see that as a reason to straighten up and go off the course, but we have to take the kind of the driver's word for it in a certain sense, or say, maybe that was sort of the reason why he straightened up. He claimed he got tapped, and then he went off the course because he was going to be washing out because of the tap. It looked like a pretty small tap. Anyway, we put that on Tokita, but we gave Fucarda a very poor lead prior to that, chase, because there was such a gap, so we did one more time.
All right, thank you, Ryan. As you guys see here, this is a bye run for Kuniaki Takahashi as we had a retire from Lee. Lee had a huge impact with the wall earlier during practice and could not get his car ready in time. So we see here Kuniaki Takahashi with the bye run, moving on to the top 16 in his Mark X.
So we did end up having to get, we had to get bye run on a plane to come over.
Byron's been doing pretty well this year in the stateside series of Formula Drift.
Has anyone, I've heard, like I saw on the internet, someone needs to work out like how many points Byron actually has.
Well, I'll tell you what, he has a lot more points than I do right now, which is unfortunate.
So Byron, Rookie of the Year 2017. Also making it over to the Japanese series, getting taken out there by Takahashi. Okay, so Rota fans around the world, get your Doritos ready. We have a rotary battle. A combined 6 rotors in this battle here today. Mad Mike Widette in the quad rotor twin turbo. See there in the foreground just there. Of course, he's got his wastegates blowing out the hood as usual. And on the left of the screen, we have Junji Yamamoto, 13B powered FD RX-7.
2 of the loudest cars.
Man, these are the 2 loudest cars here. So get your earplugs ready. So Junji Yamamoto, I'll get it right. Jumping the start there, that is allowed. Ooh, look how wide he's going. He's being very aggressive in this run against Mad Mike. Mike entering nice and early there from both these guys. Mad Mike, very shallow there. Yamamoto, spin from Yamamoto.
Yep. That looked like the good old traditional smoke screen from Mad Mike.
Oh, man.
I feel like Junji just got phased.
He did.
Yeah.
Well, I think it'd be safe to say, like, if I was driving an FD, like if I was driving an RX-7 and, you're up against Mad Mike, I'd be like, yeah.
Right, Mad Mike is a very strong chase driver, so you do want to do the absolute best you could when you're put in a position where you have to follow Mad Mike. But it did look like Mike was just a tad bit off of outer zone 1.
A tad?
Or, maybe a
It
couple.
was a fair way off there. I think this
2 meters.
is something that especially in battles, I think we've seen Mike do in previous battles where he really needs to get into those outer zones. If his chase runs are usually phenomenal, but it's just those lead runs where he doesn't hit those outer zones.
Right, and that's where he usually takes himself out, is in his lead positions. He doesn't. He sort of. He's a little, I guess, off of the clips, whether it be an outer zone or an inside clip. But nonetheless, he did have a really lucky run right now in his lead position where Junji made a huge mistake spinning out behind Mike at outer zone 1.
Let's see there, I think Junji sort of apologizing. Standard thing to do in Japan.
Right, but now Mike in the chase position cannot slack off.
That's right. So Mike has to, I think
he still has to keep somewhat of a proximity.
I mean, but then again, I don't think we're worried about that. There's nothing Mike likes to do more than get right up in the tailpipe of the lead car. Right, here we go, Junji Yamamoto. Mike already on it. Already right there with Yamamoto. Watch the transition here. Great timing. It looks like a bit of probably a tap there on the entry from Mad Mike right there.
Very nice.
I'm sure all Mike can see is white right now.
Wow,
imagine being in the chase position right there, that close to the lead car. It would just be a whiteout.
I would have assumed that he would be sucking the seat cushion right now, if you know what I mean. But yeah, he didn't really need to do that. He got more than we got more than we asked for.
Yeah. Might have been watch Yamamoto's rear bumper there. See right there. I think that might have been a slight tap there from Mike as well. Yeah, just a little graze there, a little nerf up against Yamamoto's car.
Strong chase from Mad Mike,
as usual. So I think it's going to be a fairly obvious result there from our one and only double rotary battle here today. Junji Yamamoto on left of screen, the orange FD.
And that's a unanimous win for Mad Mike.
1, 2, 3. Mad Mike Widette moving on to the top 16.
Mad Mike
gets the win.
That was for the crowd.
That's right. Yeah, we have, of course, our Japanese live streamers also doing the live commentary here at Fuji Speedway. All right, here comes this one more time between Tokita and Ficarda. Ficarda also actually the tallest driver here this weekend. Actually, no, I have to change that. It's probably, it would be
Andrew Gray, no?
I think, I don't know. If Arsbo was out today, it'd probably be him, but he's not in the competition. Anyway, Tokita leading. Actually, Tokita's probably the shortest as well. Tokita leading, wide run there for Ficarda. But really missing the clip entirely. Tokita the lead there.
Yeah, and if you take a look at the replay, you'll see that both drivers failed to initiate. I'm going to say they were past the last standing cone. I don't know. I think we saw.
So watch the big white stripe on the road there. The cars both have to be initiated by 3, 2, 1 right there.
So his wheels were still pointed straight past the last standing cone, but we did see his attempt to initiate at the third marker, or the third standing cone, or the 3 standing cones. So I don't know if that threw off Fukuda in the chase, but Fukuda was a little far off in chase position to begin with. So we'll see how Fukuda does in his lead as Tokita chases.
So heading back round to the start line. Yeah, that lead run there from Tokita could have been a lot better than it was.
Yeah, he was way timid on outer zone 1. We didn't see much smoke from his car either.
Yeah. I mean, once again, this is a new build for him as well. So maybe not 100% used to it. On the other hand, though, Ficarda campaigning this car for a long time now. Yeah, little chicken bow right there. You just sort of bob your head like that, right? Yeah. Okay, this time Ficarda on the left of screen there, leading this time. Tokita once again just seeing where he can initiate, getting ready. Here we go. Both cars, good follow run there, tucking right in. What's this follow run from Tokita? What's he doing? He is still drifting though.
I think that's too big of a mistake.
That was a massive mistake there. Tokita half of his car over the zebra strip on out of zone 2.
I mean, first of all, in Tokita's lead lap, he didn't have a strong initiation to outer zone 1. And obviously in this run where he's in the chase, he makes a huge crucial error at outer zone 2. And he was extremely far off of outer zone 1 behind Fukuda at outer zone 1.
He was really in outer zone 2, but that's a bit too much. All right, so we'll see.
But the thing is, Fukuda wasn't close in proximity when he was chasing.
That's right, whereas Tokita was right there for the
but I mean, even at that, if you compare the chase to chase, Tokita did make a huge error. In fact, he made 2 errors, one at outer zone 1 and one at inside clip.
That's right.
And then he was way off of outer zone 3. What do you think?
Don't know. I don't know, to be honest. Another one more time?
I don't think so. I think
Ficarda was Ficarda was just a bit Ficarda in the big blue JZX100 was just a bit more overall. He was cleaner. His lead and chase were just a bit cleaner. Tokita a bit more ragged. Yeah, he was more aggressive, but a lot more ragged in the result. I mean, we see some people pull off those really aggressive runs and pull it off, like they gamble on it and pull it off. Whereas Tokita was being aggressive, but just didn't he didn't follow through with the punch, if you know what I mean. So we'll see if we get a result. So I think we have a result. It could even be one more time.
I doubt it.
Maybe from one or two of the judges. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
I mean, we'll see how they take the lack of proximity from Fukuda in his chase position against Tokita.
I don't want to influence it because they are sitting right next to us. Although we did. So there you go. And I think it's going to be Fukuda. There we go. So there you go. We called it. Tadahiro Fucarda in the big blue JZX 100. So 2 wins for him and a one more time from one of our judges. We're getting better at this. We will be moving on from that one more time to the top 16.
We've got a crowd favorite, Yokoy.
Yokoy. Hashtag Yokoy hype. Up
And
against
Morizumi.
Morizumi. Now, I think this car was built a long time ago for competition.
I remember this car.
Yeah, it was in that other competition a while ago. People make jokes on the internet. It's like, we can't say D1. Yeah, I can, but I just don't. Brought out of mothballs. Competing now. Falling way behind. Maybe he's got to clean out some more of those mothballs. Yokoy, but Yokoy missing the outer zone.
Way off.
Way off there. Baking it around outer zone 3.
Yeah, but you saw he was sort of struggling on initiation. He
Yeah, that was a
fell
bit weird.
way shallow on the
Yokoy.
100R to the right side of the course and failed to bring it out to outer zone 1. So we'll take a look here. When you see he initiates, but then falls. He goes way shallow there.
Yeah.
Tries to get right back on the power, but fails to make it out to outer zone 1. But at the same time, Morizumi is nowhere to be found in a chase position, so...
You know, what he was doing yesterday was he was taking a really, really inside line to try and get as much straight speed as possible. Like, with the car going as straight as possible to get as much speed as possible and then kick it out. Whereas today, because this is a tandem battle, he can't do that. Like, he needs to be slightly over to the left of the track.
Well, no, I don't think they have the lines to divide the lead on the chase at that part of the track.
Okay?
Right.
I mean, just from sort of more of a, gentleman point of view.
Typically, Formula Drift in the States, they have a lead line and a chase line that's separated by dashed marks, painted marks on the ground. And once those marks end, the chase driver is allowed to cross over to get side by side. If not, if the chase driver wants to initiate behind the lead driver, then he's allowed to cross over the line at any point to fall back behind the lead driver. But in this case, we don't see the dashed lines here, so the lead driver is technically allowed to do whatever he wants, as long as he doesn't obviously purposely cross over into the chase car and take him out of competition.
Right.
But nonetheless, that was a huge mistake from both, especially from Yokoy, failing to get to outer zone 1. So we'll see how this plays out when he's put in the chase position, as Morizumi is now leading.
So second run now, Morizumi initiating, both cars initiating. Yokoy right there with Morizumi. Superior angle on the chase car. Yokoy, what's the transition here? Oh, great transition from the chase car. Yokoy, bit of a stall there from lead car Morizumi. Wow. Whoa! Maybe just getting a bit too wide there, Morizumi on the edge of the track there. Big step out there.
I think he just looked to the left and saw Yokoy right next to him, so he freaked out and got off the gas and faced the other way. But
Yokoy, monster chase run from him right now.
Yeah, solid chase from Yokoy. Is just worrisome to see what the judges will think about his lead run. But even in the chase position, he did get wider on outer zone 2. But if you looked at outer zone 1, he was a little bit more shallow compared to Morozumi's line. There we see the wobble right there.
Yeah, that was a bit funny. Maybe he wasn't expecting. Yeah, like you
I
said,
think what happened was
expecting.
he was looking in his rearview mirror and didn't see Yokoy, but when he looked over to the side, he was right there, so he freaked out. And
It could have also, because where he did it too was like right. I mean, he might have been on the ripple strip and then just hit the grass right at the end. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I know what you mean. Like where you look over and you're like, ah, yeah.
all right, so we see Yokoy making it into the top 16.
Result 1, 2, 3 in favor of what's his first name?
Masashi.
Masashi Yokoy. Moving on to the top 16. I should know that by now. Masashi Yokoy.
It's okay, everyone calls him Yokoy, Yokoy, Yokoy.
That's it. I know. We're not used to. There's some guys out here I don't even know what their first. Like the guys I work with and stuff. It's like you see what their first. Like you get like some sort of. The workbook or something, or the manual for the event. You're like, oh, that's your first name. I didn't even know.
Yeah, I mean, traditionally in Japan, we address each other by our last names.
Yeah.
So you would be Sumisu-san.
But everyone just calls me Alexi.
Right, I mean, that's easier than Sumisu.
I think it's better than Sumisu. Sumisu sounds a bit funny. Okay, next battle now. Now, another Australian right there on the screen there. From Melbourne, not Melbourne for you Yanks who are watching.
Melbourne.
Melbourne, Australia.
We got Nick Wilson.
Nick Wilson versus Taguchi in the following run. Now, both these guys, very fiery drivers, both these guys. Taguchi, great angle from both these guys. Taguchi running really wide there. But Wilson losing a lot of speed, almost parking it a straight in there from lead car Nick Wilson.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. He just stumbled at inside clip 1. But Taguchi went way wide.
A lot of speed there.
On outer zone 1.
So
he did lose a lot of speed. I don't know if he missed the gear or...
I think just on this outer zone 1 from Nick Wilson, watch this when we go to the reverse camera angle. A lot of angle there, and you just sort of start to see him right there, slow down. He had to get on the handbrake a lot.
You know what?
His handbrake was on.
He lost a lot of speed coming out of outer zone 1, failed to fill outer zone 2. In fact, left outer zone 2 a little too early, so had to use a lot of e-brake to reach inside clip.
Yeah.
And because of that, he lost the speed and momentum to carry through. And when he got back on the power, obviously, because of the lack of speed, there's no power and the lower RPM range. And couldn't drop a gear, so caused him to stumble.
I've just been told there's actually a Melbourne in Florida.
Melbourne?
Melbourne. There's a city of Melbourne in the state of Florida in the USA, apparently. I've just been told on chat.
Huh.
Didn't know that? I was wondering how it's pronounced over there.
I failed geography, so...
You never watched the Animaniacs state capitals?
We are the Animaniacs.
You remember that?
I do.
There's that famous series of where Yakko's World Geography, or Yakko's state capitals. It was Yakko, Wacko, and Dot, right?
Yeah, that was many decades ago.
You probably. I guess that's my generation. All right, next run now. Nick Wilson is following this time. Taguchi lead run in the S15 Silvia. Taguchi also throwing down a lot of angle, but maintaining his speed. Look at Nick Wilson right up against Taguchi's door. Nick's got to get the power down. Once again, Nick straightening out. No.
It does sound like his car is broken. But he had a really solid approach from outer zone 2
that was looking
to inside
great.
clip. Yeah,
that was looking
right
so
on
good
his
for
door.
Nick. Parallel to Taguchi's door.
I wish we had different camera angles to show you guys.
I'm going to show I'd like to see the reverse camera. Hold on this shot, please. There we go. Okay, well, anyway. Watch this. Nice.
So really nice.
Taguchi also a long time on the handbrake, but using it to, but not using it to make the corner. He would have made the corner anyway, right?
Right.
So not if you're looking at home. Well, Taguchi used the handbrake too. It wasn't because he was going slow and had to
No, he was carrying momentum for sure.
Yeah, he was carrying a lot more momentum. So.
But I think, unfortunately for Nick, he has 2 errors
in
that same area, so that's probably going to take him out of competition. Although we did see Taguchi fail to reach outer zone 1 by a couple meters.
So great. That would have been a great photo there for Nick Wilson's sponsorship proposals. But unfortunately for him, he's not going to be able to put the getting past top 32. So Kazuya Taguchi, very experienced Formula Drift Japan driver, taking out Nick Wilson. It's Nick's first season here. So hoping to see some better results from Nick Wilson later on in the season.
Ooh, we got 2 big bodies in our next battle.
There we go.
A crown.
I like big body Toyotas, and I cannot lie. Yamashta versus Iha.
Iha from Okinawa.
Also from Okinawa. You a fan of Okinawa, Ken?
I am. I mean, that's my home.
It's his
Okinawa represent.
Okinawa represent. We've got 2 drivers from Okinawa, don't we? We have Oshido
and Iha.
And Iha.
The Uchinanchus.
What's that?
Uchinanchu?
What's that?
That means Okinawan.
Oh, okay, in Okinawan? Yeah. It's like, Okinawa's like the Hawaii of Japan, isn't it? It's like...
You got some culture there.
That island culture. Here we go. So Yamashta, basically from the opposite part of Japan, from almost the middle of Tokyo, in Kanagawa.
Nice. Oh.
Nice lead run there. Iha sort of messing up his outer zone. Yeah, this the line of the chase car, Iha.
Yeah, Iha completely annihilated the 2 outer zone markers, outer zone 1.
Sent them flying about 10 meters. Let's watch this replay. So the lead car here. Team Weld built car, Yamashta. So watch the chase car, watch the crown in the background. 1, 2 right there. That would have been a really, really loud bang bang on his door.
Yeah, once you get caught in that smoke screen in that area, it's really hard to see where you are relative to the course boundaries.
Right. Here they come back. Yeah, I said there, I should correct it. Yamashta and Weld, I was saying from Tokyo, because like literally the opposite. It's not Tokyo, it's from Kanagawa. If you say to someone from Kanagawa they're from Tokyo, they'll probably get very angry. So no, we're not Tokyo, we're Kanagawa, which is right next to
Yokohama.
Yeah,
Yokohama's
Yokohama. If you say to someone, you know, Yokohama, it's in Tokyo, it's near Tokyo. It's like, no, we're Yokohama. They got that Kanagawa pride. A lot of street races, old school street races from Kanagawa, sort of a suburban area. But a lot of mountains, a lot of streets, a lot of ports around that area. So a lot of opportunities for street drifters back in the day.
A lot of car shops.
A lot of car shops, yeah. So we've got them back around to the start line.
Look at that little JDM course maintenance vehicle. You know what's unfortunate is Okinawa doesn't have any racetracks where the drivers can really hone their skills. So most of them come to mainland Japan,
Right.
and keep a car here, do some driving here.
I mean, they do have sort of, there's that really weird like 8th mile drag strip where people go drifting as well, isn't it? You know, that one that's like really downhill, uphill, and you know what I'm talking about? I think it got closed down a while ago.
They did. I think that was it Nago?
That's the yeah.
Nago Circuit?
Yeah, that's the
yeah,
one.
that place is no more. I
That's-
think they did
that's
attempt
right.
to build a track there.
But they do have one there. They have a track there now.
Do they? I
Yeah.
thought it got shut down.
No, there's a new one. I don't know. I mean, I saw videos for a while. There's a brand new track. I don't know if they're still using it or not. But yeah, Okinawa, not the again similar to Hawaii in a sense, and it's difficult to get
Hawaii used to have a track too.
They did, didn't they? Yeah,
and
but that got shut down, didn't
Yeah,
it?
so that one used to be a drag strip where they used a portion of the drag strip on part of the course, and they
Right.
did some drifting back in the early 2000s, and that's when I first started drifting. You know, seeing drivers like Forrest Wing
Yeah.
to go there, Alex Pfeiffer, I don't know if you know.
Right. Yeah, I know.
Alex Pfeiffer,
I've met him, Alex Pfeiffer. Yeah.
Barry Wong,
I don't know that name.
some of that island life.
Wasn't that who was the dude in the Civic?
I forgot his name.
yeah.
The little EF.
Yeah. That was.
Or was it an EF? It was an
Yeah,
EF.
it was an EF. It was the sedan. Yeah.
All right, here we go.
All right,
Oh,
so
slow start from Yamashta
second
there.
run, Yamashta, yeah, falling back a bit, but maybe confident he can make up the difference. Fender flapping in the wind there. Iha, nice early entry for him. Missing that clip completely, Iha. Yamashta right there with him, taking advantage of that mistake from Iha. He's got to get on the power here, keep up with Iha in the lead. Yamashta.
Yamashta was a little far off of outer zone 3. He cut in really tight to the left-hand side of the course, but I don't think that's going to be big enough to overturn the first huge mistake from Iha, where he went off course in outer zone 1, taking out, basically annihilating the two clips.
Yeah, but
clip
watch
markers.
the lead run from Iha here too. Watch how far off outer zone 1 he is. Like,
Right.
That's a
That's
couple
going
of
to be
car
a really
lengths.
hard car to chase, especially since the lead car is essentially in the middle of the course, plowing a lot of smoke. When you get stuck in that smoke screen, it's really hard to tell where you are.
what is that like? Like, if you want to explain to, you're in a better position to explain it because you've got to do it all the time. So there you go, 1, 2, 3 in favour of Koichi Yamashita, Team Well, JZX100. Moving on to the top 16. So what is it? Do you have to trust yourself, or is it like a...
You know, it's funny. Sometimes I find myself counting seconds
Right.
in the smoke screen. So get into the smoke and I'll count. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and then transition.
Right.
And hope that I'm in the right spot. Otherwise, most of the time it works. Sometimes, obviously, it won't. But Texas Motor Speedway, which is our second to last stop in the States,
Yep.
that's a track where the chase driver, for the most part, ends up being inside the smoke screen for the first right turn of
Is
the
that
course.
run at night as well? That
It is, so it
Right.
gets even worse when your lights are basically creating a white wall in front
Yeah.
of you. You don't know where you are. So at that course, a lot of us drivers will count about a 3-second count. before we transition and hope to get into clean air.
So there you go. Just there. Shut your eyes. 1, 2, 3. And I hope when the smoke clears, you're not looking at the guy in front of you. He's not looking back at you.
Right. All right. So this is our last battle in the top 32.
All right. So whoops. This is our last battle of the top 32, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being with us for this entire top 32. If you have. Last battle of the top 32, Saito Iizuka battle. We have Saito on the right of the screen. It's not that Saito. It's not Daigo. It's a different Saito.
It is Saito Ikuo.
Ikuo Saito. And on the right of the screen, now we have Kazuya Iizuka, 2JZ S15, 2JZ JZX100. Nice early entry there from Saito, but Iizuka right with him. Looking pretty good. Iizuka wobbling around there, doing the best he can to keep up with Saito's lead run. And once again, big extension, losing a lot of speed. Iizuka, the chase run.
Yeah, for a second, I didn't know where Iizuka Kazuya was at outer zone 2. It looked like he got lost in the smoke.
Yeah, he was buried
heavy on the brakes.
Yeah.
And ended up falling a little behind.
Is that what we were just talking about? Is that what we were talking about just now? Like maybe he couldn't see where he was.
Here, yeah.
Just and took the side of caution and didn't want to slam it. Let's watch this.
So at this point, he's going to be in the smoke right there. Can't see where he's going.
And he kind of cut in there, right? And cut in a bit too hard. Lost his speed, realized that the inner clip was coming up a lot faster than he thought. So maybe he should have been counting.
Maybe he should have.
Maybe he should have.
So yeah, that's a really hard one. That's a hard act to follow. You're essentially running blind.
Yeah. And of course the weather conditions here today at Fuji Speedway, quite dull, sort of grey, overcast conditions. Very hot weather though. But yeah, the ambient lighting not really helping the smoke conditions. It's already quite dull, the lighting, so when you cover your entire field of view with smoke, it's not going to help. You're not going to get that contrast.
So it's getting a little hot and humid too.
It is, yeah, the wind sort of died down a bit. So, yeah, it's okay. It's better than being in a 50-degree race car.
Absolutely.
So I hope we're giving you a bit of insight, ladies and gentlemen, at home about what it's like to drift in this series. We know that a lot of people don't know a whole lot about drifting just yet. There's a lot to it. It goes extremely deep. So hopefully you come away from this with a better understanding of what it's like. Because here we go. Second one now, Iizuka leading. Was that a handbrake pull there? Iizuka. Outer zone, Saito needs to keep this run going. Big straight in there from Saito. Kind of a messy lead run from the lead car, Iizuka, but that's straight in there from Saito.
Yeah, that's
like an unforgivable mistake in Formula Drift.
That's a complete loss of drift, but you did mention Iizuka did get on the e-brake once after initiation, so we'll take a look here.
Watch his
He
rear tires.
initiates and then gets on the e-brake.
He got on the
to
e-brake.
extend the drift to go wide, I'm going to assume.
Yeah, I think exactly why. That's exactly why he did it. Is that sort of? I mean, Saito should have been able to follow that.
Right. That's what I was going to say. Is that e-brake pull from Iizuka is not critical.
I mean, he was
That's
already
not a mistake.
No, I mean,
he's not braking. He's basically just, adjusting his line.
Yeah, that was an adjustment of line there.
So there
for
was
Iizuka.
no loss in momentum there. Or deceleration in speed. So I personally wouldn't count that as a huge mistake. I mean, it's a correction.
Yeah. I mean, the chase car, there wasn't much smoke there, so Saito should have been able to see that Iizuka would have been going out. So this actually might be, yeah, so this is going to be interesting. Are we going to have, so 2 one more times. Okay, so we are going to run this again. 3 one more times. Kazuya, Iizuka, Ikuo, Saito. So all that stuff we were just talking about there.
Right, now if you remember the first run, we had Iizuka, he got on the brakes early behind the smoke.
Say that again? Such an ugly one more time, according to Ryan Lantane, our judge. So,
well, yeah, because Iizuka didn't have a strong chase either in his first lap.
That's
I mean,
right.
He did have an aggressive start, but fell way back in outer zone 2 when he got on the brakes and had to cut the line midway through outer zone 2 to inside clip number 1. Heavy on the brakes.
Yeah, you're right. So, I've judged a few competitions before, and there's been many times where you just sort of think, just that whole run was just ugly, do it again. But you can't say that because you have to give, like, reasons and balance it out. You know what I mean? Like, you just, look, fellas, do it again.
Right, I mean, we can't get super critical and talk about all the details about why we're going one more time, but simply put, for lack of better terms, it was
ugly.
An ugly one more time. It's an ugly one more time.
Keep it simple. Yes, I mean, you would have seen all the mistakes we were talking about from those two guys. But this is the last battle of the top 32. We'll be starting the next battles a bit later on today, from the top 16 all the way through to the finals here at Fuji Speedway. This particular day here, the reason for that is because it's a multiple event here today at Fuji Speedway. It's summer holidays in Japan, which means we're running other events here at Fuji Speedway, including this weekend the Toyota 86 Festival, being the everything Toyota 86 and A86, and of course also the Subaru BRZ. That's here as well. There's a couple of other little events on this weekend here at Fuji Speedway too.
You know, it's as a driver, I gotta admit, it's pretty hard sitting up here watching all these drivers on the course.
We actually have, there's another Australian driver, if any Aussies are familiar with, Jake Jones.
Drift Squid.
Drift Squid, yeah, he's standing over there. Jake, hello. Hello, he's over there. He's over here helping out Tang.
James Tang.
James Tang, the Hong Kong team, working with them. Having a bit of a chat with him before, and you know, same thing, just saying it's a bit hard standing here and watching this drifting, right?
It is.
Yeah, you'd rather be out there. Of course, Jake, if you watch a lot of drifting on the internet, you would have seen his new build. So Jake, hello, this is us here. There's Jake just over there to the right, in left of screen in his white T-shirt. So, Jake, you're over here with Tang and his team?
Yep. No, I'm over here with James Tang and Hubert Lee. They're the Hong Kong crew, basically. And unfortunately, Hubert had a bit of an accident before, so...
In our practice, right?
Yeah, pretty heavy hit. But he's all right, so that's the main thing. Oop.
So, Jake is... Jake, you run in the series... which series do you run in over in China?
It's called the Circuit Hero.
Right.
It's the Chinese way of...
I like it. It sounds pretty cool. And you drive the Supra over there?
Yeah, I've got the Speedline Supra this year. We're looking at upgrading to a brand new car next year, which is pretty exciting. But we got the Asia Expo in Hong Kong. August 26th coming up.
Demo runs there.
So
that's going to have a live stream too, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And they just announced that RSR's bringing Freddie over. So
hey, there you go.
Yeah, it's going to be huge.
Yeah. So Frederick is actually here this weekend, but he won't. He's doing demo runs. He's not actually in the competition this weekend, unfortunately, for everyone watching the live stream. And the car you drive in Australia is a BMW. What is it?
E92 M3.
E92 M3 with a
RB26.
RB20 is it? And that's the 3.
No, 2.8 Tomei kit. Yep.
He's got the 2.8 Tomei kit on that. So yeah, just do a search for that. It's currently in the unsponsored state, right? So it's just a fresh.
Yes.
Well, I'm not just saying.
No, it is.
It's like a big fresh white build. Just do a search for that. Jake Jones. It was a Drift Squid.
Yeah, driftsquid.com.
Driftsquid.com. You can check out his videos there. He's got some. You did some vlogs from your last trip in China as well.
Yeah, and I'm going to an event called Bring the Bash 2 next weekend.
Bring the Bash 2 in Australia. That's got to be an Australian event.
Yeah, it is. Sorry. Yeah, so that's at Wollongong at a go-kart track in Wollongong. Yeah.
In the Gong in New South Wales. So yeah, anyone watching from New South Wales, was it Bring the Bash 2?
Yeah, Bring the Bash 2. So everyone, if you're around the Wollongong area, come down and say hello. There's going to be like, I think 40 or 50 it's like a grassroots event, so there's going to be a heap of local dudes.
Excellent.
And, yeah, bringing the 1,000 horsepower beamer down to run amok with all the local dudes.
on the go-kart track.
Yeah.
That'll be cool.
Should be good.
All right, so, I mean, you know, that, like we're just saying, it's, Ken was saying, it's hard to watch this. I mean, it's hard for me, too, to watch this, too, but I don't know, I'm enjoying. Yeah, thanks, Jake, for jumping on the mic for a second there. Okay, we got, sorry, I was sweaty, yeah. Yeah, these earphones are getting a bit nasty. We've got to put them in the sun to dry them out.
All right.
So, yeah, you can't keep a drifter away from drifting, but it's...
You cannot. This is it's hard to be here.
I don't know. I always enjoy doing live streaming. I think it's always fun to chat to people all around the world. But, yeah, looking forward to more events coming up in Japan. We've got the Drift Matsuri coming up next weekend. I'm going to go out in that.
We just saw that.
Was that little like, let's go, let's do
Saito
it, let's get this.
Hyping himself up in the car.
You got this.
I do that
It's
too,
all
actually.
you. What's your routine?
Oh, you know, I'll like either hit my head or really.
Oh, you slap your helmet like?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, just get buck, get hyped.
Okay, it's the one more time battle now between Saito and Iizuka. All right, Saito really needs to get these clips right and his transitions right. Here he goes. Watch the lead car. Okay, good lead run so far for Saito. Transition back, but Iizuka right there with him.
A little far off.
Running really wide there, Saito. This is almost an even run so far, I'd say. So Saito, great outer clip, but then missing the inner clip.
Right, but given that
Iizuka
he missed,
right there too.
Yeah, he missed inside clip, but Iizuka did a great job keeping pace
with
and
the lead car.
proximity to Saito, especially in the second half of the course. Saito had a really strong approach into outer zone 1 from the initiation point. Went really wide, filled the entire zone. Nice transition. Iizuka.
Yeah, big wide line there for lead car.
From inside clip 1 to the finish.
So good. You can see as the cars drive back around, Iizuka waving to the crowd, so he's obviously in a good mood right now.
As he should be. That was a really solid chase run. Okay, let's see if Saito can hype it up for his chase.
Right, so a big improvement over the first battle already between Saito and Iizuka. I actually first met Iizuka Kazuya about 10 years ago. He used to drive a bright purple A86.
His mom was just here, wasn't she?
Yeah. His mum and his some of his other friends are also here.
She looks nervous.
She's always like that.
Is she?
Like when she talks to him, I see she's all like, yeah, hypes him up. But then like she'll come over here and she'll talk to me. She's like, I don't know if he's going to do all right. He's got that mother thing going on. That's great.
Well, we'll see how he does right now as he's in the lead position.
Iizuka in the lead position right now. Okay, early entry from Saito. All right, looking good so far. Saito needs to catch up with Iizuka. Can he do it? Okay, good line there. Nice clip from Iizuka.
Nice lead run from Iizuka.
Great lead run from Iizuka. Saito maybe gambling on the fact he could catch up.
Yeah, Iizuka had a much better line from outer zone 2 to inside clip. As we saw earlier, Saito had completely missed inside clip. So lead to lead, I'm going to have to say Iizuka has a better lead.
Definitely.
And in chase 2, I think Iizuka was much closer to Saito in his chase position.
I mean, on the transition, Iizuka was like right there, right behind Saito.
As I said earlier, the second half of the course, Iizuka was much stronger in the chase.
Out of zone here, nice and clean. So that's not a bad run there from the lead.
Right, so I think it's pretty easy to pick out a winner in this battle right here.
Yeah, I would have to say that Iizuka might be making his way through the top 16. That's unusual. I mean, Saito's usually a lot more aggressive than he is. He seems to be a bit off today. But that's drifting. You take the battles as they come. We're waiting for a result here. I think I can see the judges inputting their results right now. Okay, we're about to get the result. Iizuka, right of screen on the 2JZ Borg Warner powered S15 equals Saito JZX 100, 2JZ. So 1-2 in favor of Kazuya Iizuka in the S15. He'll be moving on to the top 16. And his mum is just standing here and she looks very relieved. Yay! Hey, Tats. So, Iizuka moving on to the top 16.
All right, so we have a full field of 16 drivers in the top 16.
All right, let's have a quick look at it. First battle, Minoa versus Harino.
Yep.
So, high skill driver, high grip car there by Harino. That should be interesting. Saito versus Nyan. Wow, that's going to be a hard-fought battle. I'm sure Nyan's going to go crazy there. Next one's going to be interesting. Former champion Gray versus Ishikawa, who just barely scraped through, so this could be a big underdog battle for Ishikawa. Next battle, Takahashi versus the Jagger. Also, that should be interesting. The Jagger hoping to continue his run for his run of good luck after massive bad luck in previous rounds.
Right, now in the bottom half of the top 16, we have Tamagawa versus Ficarda. Ficarda in the big body chase, Mark II? Was it a Mark II? And then we have Takahashi Kuniaki, or Kunis, against Mad Mike. So I'm really looking forward to that battle because we know both drivers are strong in the chase position. And then we have Yokoy versus Taguchi. Again, both extremely talented chase drivers.
Yeah.
But Taguchi has been sort of off.
Today's a bit off.
Yeah, this whole weekend entirely. And then we have Yamashta versus Iizuka. So that's going to be your top 16.
So Yamashta in the JZX 100 versus Iizuka in the S15. We just saw win that battle there.
Right. And that's going to be starting, or we're going to have the opening ceremonies at 13:30 local time, or so 1:30 p.m. local time. And then the top 16 competition is going to start at 1:50 local time, 13:50 local time.
Yeah, so the time here in Japan right now is almost 11:30. Yeah, I know. So it's almost 11:30. Come in the shot a bit more.
Oh, whoop.
It's almost 11:30 in Japan, and the current, it says Racing Girl on stage. So this is the Formula Drift girls. So yeah, like Ken said, top 16 opening ceremony from 1:30. So that's 11:12:1. 2 hours. Come back in 2 hours from now. Set your watch, set your timer, and get your phone out, set your timer. 2 hours from now, we'll be back in 2 hours for the top 16 all the way through to the final.